What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Heart and Soul. Today I'm joined by my really excited husband, Michael Benko.
Hey, it's past 8 o'clock. I'm probably gonna last longer than you. You got like 15 minutes before you
Yeah,
fall asleep.
if you know the if you know the Benkos, it is 8:23 right now p.m. and we go to bed at 8:23.
8:30. Yep.
8:30. So this is late for us, but it's just going to be a quick session. I wanted to do this on our anniversary weekend, but it got ahead of me, or it got behind me. So I thought we would do a quick anniversary marriage questions, and then the listeners sent in some questions. He is you're always requested on the podcast, but you rarely like to speak into mics. So I know this is hard for you, but I think you're going to be great. And then if we have time, which we probably won't because we'll probably want to go to bed by then, I'll do some rapid fire questions.
I'm ready.
How you doing?
I'm a little tired, but I'm doing good.
You got your wine?
I got my wine.
I'm jealous. Okay. Anniversary question. So we just celebrated 6 years married. And I found these questions on the internet and I meant to ask them on our anniversary weekend, but I didn't. So let's ask them now. First question is, what was the best thing that happened this year in marriage? All related to marriage.
Baby number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bebe. I would agree with that one. What was the most challenging thing that happened this year? And I guess it's like from May of 20.
So would this be miscarriage number 4? Was that in the last year?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, it was. That was probably the toughest thing. See, this is going by faster than you thought it would. We're already 2 questions done.
Wow, we're killing
We're
it.
killing it. Okay, what was something that you grew in valuing of your spouse this year? What's something that you grew in valuing of your spouse this past year?
Is this from the internet or is this from your people?
It's from the internet. These are the anniversary questions I meant to ask you.
I would say over time, it's one thing to like think someone is something, and it's another thing to like experience who they are. And we've been through a decent amount now. It's kind of weird to say because I feel like I didn't face a ton of adversity in my life pre-marriage, but we've been through 4 miscarriages now, and just seeing you persevere and knowing that even when you're mad at God, you'll still have faith in God and pursue Him.
That's really sweet. Thanks, Boo. Okay, next question. What ways did you grow spiritually this past year? And that doesn't have to be just in marriage. That can just be in general.
I don't know. What do you think? You probably observe me more than I observe myself.
Oh, there's a bug. Spiritually, you're always like very steady. That's kind of like your thing, steadiness. But I would say spiritually, we together have entered into like more commitment when it comes to rhythms. So like joining our community group, being more active in our church, and then this discipleship program that we're doing online. So I think that has like having those rhythms and having those, I guess, practices has allowed us to be a little more, it's funny to say the word patient because I just told you the other day that I need to work on my patience, but a little more grounded in parenting than we were for the first 2 years of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoy parenting more today than I ever have.
Yeah.
I think at some point this past year, I mean, it's kind of a Captain Obvious moment, but it's like God knows how to parent. And if the Spirit of God lives in us and we can ask Him what to do, and also His face shines upon us, like God is looking at us with a smile. He's not we oftentimes think, oh, he's disappointed in us, but I think the opposite is more often true, that he's proud of us.
Right. Like how we look at a
And so we
child.
can take that, yes, that same thing into parenthood. Is it's harder for him to throw a fit if we're smiling. If we have a good attitude, it's hard for him to be Debbie Downer.
Yeah. And when we're Debbie Downer, he's always Debbie Downer.
It's easier. Yep, he can follow.
It's pretty like consistent on upon like our attitude.
We'll see through the years how that goes.
Yeah. we're almost 3 years in to parenting a kid, like a human.
Well, you have to answer the first 3 questions now. You don't really.
What first 3?
You have to answer the same questions.
Oh, okay. So you want this to go longer?
Hey, I'm the one that stays up later than you.
I was trying to value your time, but I will answer. You know, I can talk all day. Best thing that happened this year, I have the same answer. Baby. Most challenging, same answer. Going through a 4th miscarriage, figuring out next steps for fertility. And then I think most challenging is for me always is the first trimester of any pregnancy, because it's just trying to get through it. So those like first 10 to 14 weeks are really anxiety ridden for me. What was something that you grew in valuing of your spouse this past year? I would say I think we both grew in like how to mourn together. And I think that not that you didn't support me well in the first 2, but I don't think we knew how to support each other in grief. I think that these last 2, like, I don't know how to word it, but we maneuvered it better. We maneuvered grief together better. And you were a great, like, solid support system for me in that. I know you grieved as well, but it's different the way it looks. And then also I value the time that you put into parenting, because I know that's sometimes rare for father figures to put in the same amount of time as the moms, and I feel really lucky that you do that. What ways did you grow spiritually? I think I grew, and I'm growing in my this is hard to say too, in my belief in myself and how God believes in me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say that, but valuing my gifts a little bit more, understanding that I have them, and instead of like picking myself apart or falling into shame, I think I'm doing a better job of
stepping into who you are.
Yeah, and believing who God says I am.
Yep.
Okay. What ways did I grow spiritually? Wait, I already answered that. This is the next question. Actually, I don't like that question. What was the most rewarding in your home this past year? The most rewarding thing in your home?
I mean, I guess we can recycle the answer of baby.
Yeah. And I think the most rewarding thing also is us, or maybe just Williams, like grow. Like, of course he's like growing, but like him, like learning to talk and learning to like become a part of the rhythm and routine without us like forcing him into it. That's felt fun.
Yeah.
Like his personality blossoming.
Yeah, he's a completely different person.
Totally different.
Yeah.
And it's really, really fun the older he gets. Okay. What is one dream or goal that you have for this upcoming year of marriage?
Haven't really thought about it.
Keep on trucking.
Survive, I guess. I mean, I don't have a dream or goal for marriage. I mean,
or maybe for the family.
I honestly feel like I've digressed on goals a lot in my life over the last few years.
Okay, why?
I don't know, just that you get caught up on them, and then you have closed fists, and then you start focusing on things that are somewhat out of your control.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess going back to the beginning of the year, it was like our goals were to get away once a quarter,
Mm-hmm.
do a date night once to twice per month.
Mm-hmm. We're doing it
There you go. So I guess that's the goal. So the goal isn't
to
necessarily like,
continue
oh,
that,
yeah. Yeah, the goal is to continue that.
even with 2 kids.
Yeah, I haven't, I ran into a neighbor today and he was like, you mentally prepared for baby number 2. And I was like, I haven't prepared at all.
Yeah.
Because you prepared for number 1 and you realized you didn't know what the hell you were doing.
Yeah, that's true. You
I'd rather just learn on the fly than trying to. I feel like my whole life, it's like I try to read a book before something.
you
And
do.
yeah, and it's almost better to read the book after because you don't understand.
Like to course correct.
Yeah, I mean, you don't understand what a book means if you're not living it. That was kind of a quote there.
That was pretty deep.
Wasn't even talking about spiritually, just saying.
That was good.
If you have kids and you have friends who don't have kids, they just don't get it.
Yeah. You don't know until you know, and even when you know, you don't know what's coming next.
Right.
It's constant evolution in your house. Okay, so we're not setting any goals. Okay, here's some listener questions. Are you ready? I think you know who this is from, but from Wild Bill in college, which is your nickname in college, to the Michael that you are today, what has sparked the most growth? I think I know the answer.
Well, yeah, I mean, Wild Bill was pretty fun.
Wild Bill,
I'd like to think Wild Bill's still in there.
I haven't seen him. Well, I've seen him.
Yep.
But not
Not
to its
not to an
truest
extreme.
form. Michael was like the party chair of his fraternity in college, and then he found Jesus. So I would say the thing that sparked the most growth is your faith.
There you go.
But I want you to answer that too.
Yeah, I mean that is what sparked it. I was studying abroad in Italy, ironically, because you'd think you'd party even more overseas studying abroad. But I actually found myself wanting to know what life was about and what I believed.
Because of the people that you were with believing all different things.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. And, wanting to know what is my life about. And if God is real, then I need him to show me that he's real.
Right.
So that I started asking that question while I was abroad.
And he showed you.
Yep.
Okay, next question from a listener is, if you could give a first-time dad one piece of advice, what would it be?
It gets better.
That's a first-time parent. That's to all moms and dads.
I think that honestly is my advice, though, because
strap in, it gets better.
Yeah, I mean, for 6 months, you're gonna wonder what the heck did I just do to my life.
Yeah,
it's like it's over. Like there's no escape route. There's no nothing. And
you always use that verbiage, and it's like true, but it's so intense to say it's my life is over.
But when you pursue your life that you want, it ends up not being what you think it is. So dying to yourself is actually a beautiful process, but it sucks in the midst of it.
Yeah, it's a process that's worth it and leads to life
like
to the full.
Life being about you actually doesn't lead to happiness.
Yeah.
So dying to yourself and having a death process actually leads to more life, but it feels even every day incredibly counterintuitive.
Yeah. And having children is probably the biggest thing that I've experienced where I've had to die to myself, because nothing that I say, nothing that I want to do, nothing of that matters before our kids, especially in the beginning, because you're just keeping them alive. You're like feeding them. You're literally just trying to keep them alive. My life is over. So good. Okay. Next question is, what do you feel like your best dance move is? And a follow-up, are we going to see more dance videos?
Hey, if the listeners request, I can throw something down. I mean, my probably best performance ever was that TikTok Missy Elliott video.
That was really good.
That was a one take
In front of the mirror.
wonder. Yeah.
Maybe I'll post it just for reference, but repost it for reference. But yeah, that was a good one.
I mean, probably my best moves are with some sort of prop involved.
He loves a prop.
And
You love a prop.
none of my dance moves are planned. So, what's my best dance move? The one that comes out
I would
on the
say,
TRX bands or the
yeah.
pole or the barbell.
Yeah, you do love a prop. I would say like your go-to move is like almost like a hula hoop of your hips. You know what I'm talking
Yeah, it's a go to.
about?
You just start with that. That's kind of like the base of the pizza. That's the dough. You just get your hips moving,
That's the dough.
and then something comes out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Something always comes
Mhm.
out of it. People have requested that you be on more of my videos. So whenever you're ready to start your TikTok and YouTube career, I know it's like really what you've been dying to do.
Yeah, I'm a big YouTuber.
You love being in front of the camera and holding microphones and dancing. Okay, next question is, if oh, what are you doing to mentally prepare for baby number 2? You kind of already answered that.
I did
Nothing.
nothing.
That's great advice.
When it happens, I'll call Steven Smiley.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out. Okay, how can a husband support his wife during pregnancy and postpartum?
I feel like I should ask someone else that question. I don't know. What do you think?
I think, yeah, maybe that is more of a question for a woman, but I would say grace, giving them grace, because like I read the other day, the hormone shift, the first, even just like the first week, I think, after you have your baby, is the most intense hormone shift that like any human ever goes through. So like your emotions are all over the place, your life is completely changed, your routine is completely changed, talking about dying to yourself, like nothing that on your physical body even really belongs to you. It just belongs to this human. So from a husband's perspective, I would say give your wife grace for mood shifts, for tears, for emotions in general. And then for during pregnancy, I would say mood is like the biggest thing. Like the mood of a woman just is so shifty because of our hormones that a husband just needs to have like space for that to.
She's not personally attacking you.
Yeah, it's not against you. It's like we have lost all
I find it funny now, to be honest.
we've lost all like authority over our bodies
Yeah.
and our
I think like
emotions.
even I mean, you've been pregnant 6 times now. So I think in early pregnancies it's like those mood shifts I would almost be like, what she's coming at me right now. Like what did I do? And then over time I just kind of realized like,
It's not
you're
you at
just in a
all.
mood. You're just
It's
in a mood.
literally not you at all. There's just this human thing growing in
Where's the
me.
Chick-fil-A?
Just give me
Somewhere in the
Chick-fil-A
house.
and it's true. That, and then when it comes to like tangible things postpartum, like helping with the night feedings, helping with cleaning bottles, like just doing what you can do. Cause in the beginning, I think it's
Coming up with
tough.
shifts is probably good. I
Shifts.
mean,
Yeah. If
both people get up in the middle of the night. I'm not a fan of that. I
we
feel
did
like,
every other.
well, I would go to bed. Oh, we'll probably do this again. You would get up in the middle of the night, and then I would get up at like 3 a.m. onward.
Yeah. So I would do the first 2 shifts and then you would do the second 2 basically. That's really helpful if like you're and like with feedings, if you're breastfeeding, like pumping a little bit so that the dad can do a bottle in the night is helpful, or a form like combo feeding, whatever. And then I think that because you're so physically needed as a mom, like be okay asking for help. I wasn't good at this, as good at this in the first pregnancy, but I think I'll be really good at it in the second. Asking your husband for help where you need it, because you are like so consumed by the physical of it all. So like the little things around the house or things like that, you know, he can help out. And then if you have two kids, I'm just expecting like a man on man basketball team, like Michael on Will's, me on baby in the beginning, basically.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Sounds great. Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask these fun questions. These are icebreaker questions that I actually we got a sheet of at our women's event last week, and I thought they were good.
Bring 'em on.
Okay. So they're like quick, rapid fire questions, answer
I'm
fun.
ready.
Okay. If you could star on any TV show, what would it be?
The NBA playoffs on ABC. That was pretty good, huh?
I thought you were going to say Survivor. I did not know you were going to go for a pipe dream.
Why not? To be sick.
Oh my gosh, that was good. I didn't see that coming.
Going toe
I
to
was
toe
like,
with Anthony Edwards.
I was totally convinced that your answer was going to be Survivor. Okay, so NBA. If you could have any job in the world, what would you choose?
What I'm doing.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Student Success Agency. Go give them a follow on Instagram.
Here you go.
I'll put their Instagram in the show notes below. If money were no object, what's one thing that you would want to buy?
I'll go a trip and a buy. I would want a Rivian truck. And I want to go on that safari that Wells and Kelly went on.
Oh yeah.
It's like so many acres.
It's like a glamping
in South
safari
Africa.
in South Africa. That's pretty cool. My answer, this is the one I answered, and my answer was just a house on the water. I don't care how big it is.
We're going like that big.
Like if I had one thing I could buy,
I was
money
just
were
thinking
no
like a toy.
money were no. That's kind of a question coming up. Money were no object. I'd be like, I'm gonna buy my dream house on the water.
Well, sure.
Yeah. Okay. If you could spend the day with anyone from the Bible besides Jesus, who would you choose?
Paul.
Classic. I thought you were going to say John the Baptist for a second.
I was between him and David in my head.
Yeah, David.
Also, John. That's a tough one. Peter, come on. Come on now.
Go ahead. So pick one of those four.
I'm picking Paul still.
Okay.
I feel like Paul would be very interesting.
Paul seems very like
kind of weird and introverted.
Yeah, like almost like what's that guy? Tim Ferriss.
No,
the Tim Ferriss of Christians.
Okay. Tim Ferriss. Okay.
Think about it. Kind of weird, brilliant.
I feel like Tim Ferriss and I would easily get along.
Yeah, so you and Paul would do great together.
Yeah, I mean, but being around Paul would be like, all right, this guy, like, you know, I'm inspired. He loves Jesus, and I want to be like him, but he's also a little bit out there.
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss is just like, you know, sit down, be easy.
Yeah, that's true.
Paul would be way weirder than Tim Ferriss. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So, Paul, if all your fears were removed, what's something that you'd like to do?
All fears removed?
Like a lot of people answer like skydiving or things like that.
No idea.
Okay.
I feel like there's not a big fear block holding me back from something like that.
Oh.
Do you think there's?
What about like a fear of speaking on my podcast, or a fear
I'm doing it right now.
Of being in my TikTok videos?
I've done both.
What about just consistently doing it?
Like how you're twisting it to your. How about F1 racing? That'd be
Oh,
nice.
That's terrifying. Never would I ever.
Or like
that.
like a motorcycle trip cross country, but I'm talking like ripping 150.
I don't do motorcycles. I won't even
Fears
like
removed.
fears removed. All right, cool. That's your answer, but it's never gonna happen. If you could relive any day in your life, which day would you choose?
I know the cliche answer here is your wedding day. But I got to go a little curveball here,
Okay.
which is the last day of our Brazil Amazon trip.
So before you even knew I existed.
I know we're going a different route here.
Okay,
Because
okay.
the wedding day, which everyone's going to say that. We're going to say it's kind of like you said besides Jesus.
All right,
You know,
right, right. Good cover up.
So no, but for real, it was
Just kidding.
it
Keep
was
going.
a time in my life where I was doing a lot of deep searching, and it ended with that trip in the Amazon. And we slept on a boat, didn't touch ground because all the houses are on stilts in the Amazon. Like
Oh, I
people
didn't know that.
literally boat to their neighbor's house.
I
If
didn't
we
know
were going
that.
to our neighbor's house in the Amazon, when we went, it's like, oh, we're taking a little tugboat over there, or you're swimming there to your
Well,
neighbor's house. But it's also in the Amazon, which is nuts.
yeah, that's crazy.
But that trip was amazing. A lot of fruit, and just the last day, just pure joy. It's awesome.
What about the last day was the purest of joy?
I felt like I was completely in the will of God with freedom and experiencing His joy for His people.
That's a great answer. I will accept it because our wedding day is obviously first.
Right.
And the day like our son was born and all those things, Okay. If you won $10,000 today and had to spend it, what would you buy today?
$10,000?
10,000. Maybe that trip to South Africa. It's probably more than that.
That might be because $10,000 really ain't gonna buy you a car.
That's tough. A sauna?
Yeah, it's probably a sauna, cold plunge, a Super 73 electric bike.
All your toys.
Yeah, all my toys.
Yeah, I can see you doing that. Okay, if you could have any talent or gift, what would you choose?
Like I can teleport.
I think that's more of like a superpower.
This
Things
is
that
like
are real. Like people said like singing. I said sleep whenever I want.
Talent. I don't know, really.
Play an instrument.
I mean, singing would be cool, but
You're just so talented. You can't think of anything else.
I'm more just satisfied with my average. I mean, if I'm going to play in the NBA, I got to ask for an NBA talent then. So I'll have the talent of being a foot taller and shoot about 30% higher than what I normally
maybe
shoot.
more than 30%.
No, if I shoot 10% and I add 30% to that, I could play in the NBA if I was, 6'9".
Yeah. Okay, sure. Describe your perfect day.
That's kind of hard for a podcast, don't you think?
Remember, were you there when we answered this in Puerto Rico?
Yeah. I think my perfect day is up early, quiet time, workout, big family breakfast, and fellowship, and then hit the slopes, baby.
Hit the slopes.
we are right mountainside in Telluride, Colorado. Right up the gondola till 4 p.m. Then you're exhausted. You come back, you sit in the hot tub with some sort of drink, whatever the mood is, with the family, talk about the day.
Right.
And the runs you took, the epic runs you went on with your son or your daughter or your friends.
I love going on.
And then you have fajitas afterwards because you're exhausted. Fellowship around fajitas in the hot tub, talking about the slopes, and then hey, maybe there's a great basketball game on that night.
You've never once said I'm craving fajitas.
When's the last time you were on the slopes with me?
That's a very good point. Never.
Damn.
Never. Okay, last thing, rapid fire questions. These are quick, less
All
than a
right.
second. We point to whoever the answer is. Okay?
Okay.
Because it's like one of us. So,
Well, we got to say it because it's a podcast. Not many people are going to watch this.
oh, that's true. Say that you should watch it though. If you're listening, you should watch on YouTube. It's way better. Stop. It's better. Except my camera didn't work today, so it's kind of like bad quality. But okay. We'll say the name then. Ready? Who apologizes first after a fight?
Kathryn.
Kathryn. Who is funnier? Kathryn. Who's more patient? Michael. Who said I love you first?
Kathryn.
That's debatable.
That's not debatable.
I said
You said I love you. I said I'm not going to say it until I propose.
I didn't say I love you though. I said I think I'm getting there.
Okay,
like-
Bachelorette. You said I love you.
That's true. Okay. I'll say me too then. Who is more stubborn? That's tough.
Yeah, we both kind of paused. I don't know.
Maybe both of us are just equally as stubborn. Who is most likely to make a big purchase? Michael.
When was the last big purchase we made?
I would say like you're more like willing to like spend the money for the experience or the moment or the thing than I am.
I agree.
I'm more like a overthinker
Cheap.
about money. Cheap. Who's the messiest? Michael.
Kathryn.
No, I am not.
Just go look at our trunks.
Your nickname is Crumb for a reason. There's crumbs everywhere, not only on the floor, the kitchen, but in couches, in the car surfaces, in the trunk. Sometimes I find wrappers in our bed. It's insane how many snacks you eat. There's like applesauce pack tops on our dresser just from the end of the day that you just put on there
They pile up.
because
They pile up.
you can't possibly reach the trash can that's 3 feet away. You got to put them on the dresser.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, those are the last of the questions. Thanks for begrudgingly but willingly joining me on my podcast today.
Anytime. And by any time, I mean once a year.
Maybe not even that.
I think this is the second time this year we've done this.
If you want to really hear Michael talk, listen to Macy's podcast, Journey Home. I think episode 2 is what we're on. Back in March. Michael actually talks a lot on that one and seemingly enjoys it.
Hey, maybe one time we can get on here and talk like NBA playoffs or something.
I would love to do a sports podcast where I do my thing where we like watch a game and I just make things up.
You want to get up at 5 tomorrow and watch the Mavericks game with me?
You're going to watch the Mavericks game at 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
Okay, well then
Would you prefer to stay up for another 45 minutes and watch it at 9:30 with me?
Oh, why wouldn't you watch it tonight if you can watch it? Wait, it's on tonight, but you're recording it?
Correct.
And you're going to watch it.
So my options are watch it at 9:30 to midnight or watch it at 5 with no commercials.
You could probably even watch it at 6 with no commercials.
Or I could watch it at 5 with a cup of coffee because I'm up at 5 anyway, honey.
Okay, you do you, boo-boo.
Thank you.
Totally different. Thanks for listening to that. Listeners, I will be back next week with a solo episode. And then we have a special guest coming on the week after that. Love you guys so much. And I'll talk to you next week. Mike. Bye. Oh, you really got to watch the YouTube now. Bye.